Yo, we talking about groceries on FBA. Yo, easy. Yeah. J to the O, the Mayos. Groceries on FBA. What you know about that? Step your game up, suck it.
Tonight we're going to talk about a few things. Tactical arbitrage, of course. I hope everybody jumped on board. I know privately Alex has told me by the end of the month that'll be closed down again, probably for most of Q4. So he doesn't want to get too overboard, and it's such a great tool. We've created a lot of content for it, and really it's your best option for sourcing right now. So if you're not, what's going on here? I don't know what's going on with my camera here. Just a minute. Let's see. Let me turn that autofocus off. All right, I don't know what was going on there, but so we have a whole course we put together in the tactical arbitrage section in the Mastermind, on the Mastermind site on ShawnMayo.com, and we make tons of content, and new things are added to it every day. And I don't know why this keeps happening, but we're going to be sharing the screen here in just a minute anyway. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about doing, and one of the things we offer for our Mastermind members that I don't know if you've subscribed to any other lists, and I really don't want to make the lists the main focal point of my group, and it really isn't. You can think of it as a bonus. Any leads that we find, we have a whole team that finds leads. Some of them with tactical arbitrage, some were going on sites that tactical arbitrage doesn't support, and we share whatever we find. So we promised in the sales promotion that you get 200 a month. So even doing that, not on the weekends, of course. That would be 20 business days a month. That 200 is only 10 leads a day, and if you're checking your lead emails, sometimes you're getting 30 or 40 or even more. So we're overall, I think we're doing 600 or more a month. Right now, sometimes it might be less, sometimes it may be more, and we're going to stick to that 200 a month because that's that's the minimum. And at some point it may be that again, if we need to scale it back or expand our sourcing opportunities. So I really don't want anybody to you should be looking at these leads and using that as one thing to give you ideas, to give you a jumping off point to get ideas to go from. So you should be looking up these items on Amazon. If that's a good deal, you should be looking at what people buy. And I've made a lot of videos about this, looking at rabbit holes and, following rabbit trails, which is going to take you, hey Bob, how you doing? It's going to take you into the other things that people are buying together, or people who bought this product bought another product, and that's really what the focal point and the most important parts of these leads that we share are. So it shows you the kind of things that I would buy, that my team would buy, and what we buy for our own business. But you can take those and use those as ideas to look at the other things that they're buying together. So I'm just going to pull one at random, and we'll go over to Amazon. And if you log into the Mastermind site and look under the, the Mastermind training, not the basic section, I've done hours worth of training on this exact idea. Chris Green spoke about it in his books at length, and there's an important focal point of your Amazon business should know how to follow these rabbit trails. So this is something you should ignore. Sponsored products related to this item, because this is what people are paying Amazon to show you, and the page is still loading. This might not have been the best option, but that's what we recently looked at. So this section, what customers also shop for, is something you definitely want to look at. And this one is showing a ton of the same product. So I'm just going to jump over to something else. It really doesn't matter what the product is. So once you find a good product, you should be looking at it. And even if it's not worth buying, or the ROI is lower than you want to pay, it's a product that you see that people are buying. So when you look at frequently bought together, you can see that this piece of sushi is being put with. So I would assume this is a headband. So maybe the human in this case is buying the headband and wearing that because they're that's something a sushi chef would wear. And as you can see, it's showing this is a bonsai headband, and it is selling quite a lot. You can see from the keeper graph. And you can see they were bought together. So this is something, if you could source these, you could definitely be bundling them together, and selling a product, because it's showing you, Amazon is telling you that people who bought this product bought this, they bought them together. And it's asking you to buy them together. So you might as well create this as a bundle. Now, this is probably too late to be sourcing it and getting the product and then sending it to Amazon and building up a bundle. But if it wasn't a Halloween product, it would be something that you definitely would want to sell together. And the next thing down here, customers who bought this item also bought. So that people are buying this. Now you can look at all of these products, and sometimes there's 10 pages. Here there's only about a page and a half. But these are products that Amazon is telling you people who bought the one product are also buying all of these. So these are products that you're going to want to source. And then you can just copy the ASINs for these and look it up in Tactical Arbitrage's reverse search now, and possibly you can find a place to source those products. Again, we want to ignore the sponsored products. And here's some more sponsored products down here. And then also customers who viewed this item also viewed these. So these are people who looked at other similar products, so you can see what people are buying together, the kind of products that people are buying. So for each product we're sharing with you, it's giving you a ton of ideas. You could follow these rabbit trails and find dozens of other products from everyone that we're sharing with you. So it may, the main product may not fit your business, but you should be taking that and using it for dozens of other ideas. I don't want, I'm not running a group to tell you stuff to buy. I'm running a group to help you grow your business to whatever point you want to grow it to. If you want to make an extra $50,000 a year and keep your job, or if you want to do this full time and make millions of dollars, we're here to give you the tools to do that. And if you rely on me or any of the other dozens of people who are selling a list of products, and you give them, $100 to $300 a month to tell you what to buy, you're never going to learn how to do this on your own. And if you don't know how to do it, you can't teach other people. And when you want to run your own business, you can't rely on others to run it for you. You can't expect somebody to give you a list and you buy everything on that list and you become a millionaire at some point. So once you learn how to find these products on your own, you can train employees, train VAs, train foreign labor or local labor, or, wherever your business model is going, you can train those people to do that for you. And then you don't need, all these list providers to be providing you that content. Now, obviously we make money by selling lists, not only the ones that you get for being a mastermind member, but we sell single lists, which we also post, and we have bought them in the past. I mean, we get so many now, we obviously don't buy them, but I did buy them in the past. And if you have so much money that you just can't spend it all fast enough, then that's what those lists are for. Or if you don't have time to be doing the sourcing, there's a place for those lists. And once you get to a point where you're finding those, I can help you sell your own as well. So there's a place for those, but it's when you need a little extra, you shouldn't be replacing your own work with these lists. So with that, I'm going to move on. Unless anybody has any questions, you can put them into the chat. And we'll go over. If we scroll up, I hope everyone is familiar with this page. This is for the Group 1 of Mastermind Sourcing. Some of you are in Group 1, some are in Group 2. We split up the leads. However many leads you're getting, we're actually finding that many leads for another group of people. But we do limit those to 50 people per group because we don't want more than 50 people to get any of those leads. We don't want anything to get too diluted. So we do split all of that information up. But one thing that nobody's doing, I've talked to a couple people about this, and you're not doing it. The events tab, yes. So when you're in the mastermind group, if you scroll up to the top, you can see click on events, and it's going to show you all the upcoming events. We're at the end of the month, but once the month recycles, there could be 10 or more events for the upcoming months. We usually schedule them all at one time. And when we schedule them, a lot of you join this month. So you may not have been invited to all of the events. But if you're in there now, when the month recycles and we start creating our weekly events and other events that we do throughout the month, we'll invite all of the mastermind members into those. So if you ever hear about an event that I'm doing, but maybe you don't know about it, you can click on the events tab at any time, and you can go and see them and say if you want to go or not. So I'm going to go back over to, and that's on Facebook, obviously, but on your mastermind site, if you didn't watch the video up here, this explains the whole page. But it's a couple things you can tie into tactical arbitrage is the way this works is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we post these. So these get posted every morning, usually in the range of 10 a.m. when our employees are actually several hours behind Eastern time. So it gets posted in Eastern time at 10 a.m., but they're actually posting it earlier. So you have to subtract whatever coast you're on to, or time zone to get to that. So you can click to the direct link. It's going to take you to a Google Drive sheet. And we post these, Monday, we post on Monday, and Tuesday, obviously. So around Sunday, we clear these out and they get moved to the master list. So you can click on this master list up here at any time, and you're going to see every lead we posted this year. And right now, there are a lot, about 3,500, 3,465 things posted in here. So this is everything we posted for the whole year. And obviously you don't have rights to edit this, but if you ever want to make a copy of this, if you want to modify it, if you want to work on it on your own, you can just click on File, and you can click on Make a Copy, and it's going to make a copy that you have the rights to. And then you can sort it, you can delete stuff out of it, you can do whatever you want. A couple things I would, once I'm going to get to that part, which is where we're going right now, maybe you don't want to run all 3,500 items. Maybe you don't want to look at shoes or whatever it is. So if you click on Data, if you're not familiar with using Google Drive, Google Sheets, you can click on Sort Range, and then you can you want to click on Data has header row. If you don't, that header row is going to get sorted in with everything else, and then you can actually, you have to click on this to highlight everything, or hit Control A. It's actually everything's very slow when I run Zoom. It really slows down the whole system. So you should be able to click here, highlight all, and then you can sort. If you go to Data, Sort Range, then you can select the column. So if you want to sort by category, I'm not going to do this because a lot of people access this file. You can go to column I. As you can see up here, that's your category. But of course, you can sort by anything. You can sort by price, or the ASIN or the links, or any of that information. And then maybe you just want to pull out the ASINs in shoes, or whatever it is, video games or home or grocery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I would take all this old data, and we're really the only Mastermind or list providing site or group that I know of that actually gives you historical data. Most of them, you sign up, you pay your $100, $200, $300 a month, and they're going to email you however often they email you, daily or weekly, or a few times a week, however it goes. They email you that list, and then that's it. What we've done is we have saved all that historical data for you, so you can go back and look at these. You can reprocess them. We've been doing this way before tactical arbitrage ever existed. But I knew there was, many good uses for it. So now with tactical arbitrage, what we can do is, actually I'm going to go over there first. Let's go into tactical arbitrage, and if we go to our reverse search, you just click on reverse search, and reverse search is going to take you here. Now you can just cut and paste up to 100 in here, or you can click on upload a new file. And I'm going to walk you through that. As you can see here, you can, in the reverse search, you can do up to 10,000 lines in your list. So what I'm going to do, what I always do, is download an example to start with. So we're going to have the blank template, and we're going to open it up in Excel. So the first thing I'm going to do is delete the UPCs. Just so it doesn't confuse anything. And I'm going to come over here to the list. Now, of course, you can do the whole thing. Maybe you do want to, maybe you don't. It's a lot of data to look at. So I'm going to paste it in here right now. Okay, so now we have the whole thing in here. We'll go ahead and save it. Save it as a CSV. Now, depending on what software you're using, of course, if you use Google Sheets, Google Drive, then you're not going to have a problem, but you have to save it in the MS-DOS or Windows version of a CSV file. So I'm using the Windows version, and I can use this regular comma delimited version. But if you're doing it on a Mac, you need to make sure you select that Windows version. Some versions it's called an MS-DOS version. So if it's not working and you use the template and you followed along exactly what I did, then it should work. If it doesn't work, you probably saved it in the wrong format. That's the most common issue. Now it's going to say you're going to lose some stuff because it's a CSV. CSV is a comma-separated file. So it's not going to save all that Excel data. So we're going to go. Okay, it's kind of hard to click on this. Go away. Okay. So we're going to browse this and let this load. There's our test file. We're going to upload that, and you always want to verify you have the right one. It's always going to save the last file you had until you upload something new. So to make sure you have the right file, you check right here, and this is the name of the file we uploaded. It's going to have an underscore and then a number that Tactical Arbitrage assigns to that data file, that CSV. So now you know that it's correct. And then you set your filters. We're just doing something simple, show Amazon's out of stock results. That means if Amazon ever sold it, we want to show it if it's out of stock. If you don't click on this, it's not going to show that. So right now we're going to show everything 50% ROI, under 100,000 in rank. Click submit. And now it's going to go back and it's going to check all these. It's going to add all the results that match from every store that it matches to. While I'm looking back now, Pam wanted to know if we look at reviews when making a decision to buy. You know, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It depends on how well a product is selling. Definitely with shoes, we're going to look at, you know, we're going to use one of the tools. Tactical Arbitrage does have a product variation tool, and what that does is you can put in an ASIN of things like shoes and clothing, and it's going to check all the variations. I've made, again, I made multiple videos on that, and you can see it in the Tactical Arbitrage training. I don't want to waste the whole webinar covering that again when you can just watch the video. But it's going to look at all the product reviews, and it's really the only way right now to see what products are selling. So if a pair of shoes could have several hundred variations, and you know they share the same rank, so if you don't know you know which ones are selling, you know one might not be selling at all, and one style and size could be selling hundreds. So the product variations, what that does is it looks at the reviews. So the reviews are actually the only thing that's separated by each variation. So it'll look at the total number of reviews, and it's going to sort that out in a graph, and it's going to show you exactly what percentage each variation, you know, each color in each. It'll show all the colors, all the sizes, and then the individuals. So, you know, a red size 7.5, what percentage of the total got how many reviews, and then, you know, you can. It's going to be a rough estimation of the actual amount of sales that it got. You know, so that's a great tool, and it's free if you use Tactical Arbitrage. If you don't use Tactical Arbitrage, and why wouldn't you be? You should be. You can also buy it, and I believe it's $5 a month, something like that. You know, very cheap. And a couple other people have put out similar products that do the exact same thing. But as far as, you know, looking at each review for a product, you know, if a product is selling, you know, if it's something I think may get a lot of returns, like a certain toy, I'll look at the reviews. Of course, if it only has, you know, 40% positive reviews, that's something you're going to want to stay away from if you think it's going to be getting a lot of returns. Obviously, you don't want a lot of returns, especially if it's a high-end product, you know, things in clothing and shoes that you might be spending 40, 50, up to $100 for each product. You know, one return is really going to mess up your overall income, especially if it's a product you're getting a lower ROI on. So the lower your ROI, the more you may want to be looking at reviews. But again, we don't take a whole lot of stock in that unless it's you know, for what we just discussed, and that's to see, you know, how well products are selling. Because, you know, in the beginning we did the same thing. We bought, you know, we may have bought shoes that didn't sell very well, and you didn't know why. Well, it's because that variation is just not a good selling variation. What would we recommend as an overall Q4 strategy in grocery or in general? So I don't change a lot for Q4 from anything else. Yes, you're going to sell a whole lot more. If you've never done, you know, quarter 4 on Amazon, selling on FBA, then quarter 4 is, you know, going to be ridiculously amazing. And however much the most you possibly think you're going to sell more. And that goes across the board. You may think, you know, toys and shoes and clothing and things that may be gifts are going to sell, but two things happen. People are already there on Amazon. They're buying, so they may not, you know, they're going to be buying grocery and health and all those other things just because they're already there on Amazon. And the other thing is, they may be buying that stuff because they don't have time because it's quarter 4. They're, you know, they're busier in their own businesses, or they just, you know, they don't have time because they're shopping for Christmas or whatever else. So they just say, oh, I'll go buy that on Amazon. You know, along with all the other reasons for gifts and hard to find items and everything else you're selling. It just, you know, it gets crazy and everything sells super fast, and there's a lot of stuff that sells out, and especially in grocery, which if you've been in the Mastermind group, you see some of the things I've already been posting. There's exclusives at Target, there's exclusives at Walmart, and you're going to see them at Walgreens and all these other big chains. You're going to see a ton of exclusive items, and that's you know, that's where the big money comes in, because everybody doesn't have a Target or a Walmart or you know, some of that stuff, you know, in their area. You may think that, you know, there's a Walmart everywhere, but a lot of big cities don't have Walmarts. You know, the cities don't want them inside the city limits, and it's too far to go, or people don't have cars, or people live in Alaska, or they live on a military base. There's 100 other reasons. Every reason you can think to buy, that people would buy them on Amazon, you know, there's that many reasons why they may not be buying at Walmart. And, you know, in the end, who cares why? If it's selling, you might as well be the one that sells it. But, you know, taking you back to an overall strategy for Q4, as I said, I don't put a whole lot of stock into the Q4 strategy in general, because, you know, a lot of people say, well, now it's Q4, spend every penny you can, get as much stuff as you can to Amazon. Yes, that's true, but you should already be doing that every other day of the year. You know, every penny we can afford, we put back into our Amazon business, or, you know, mostly in our Amazon business, because, you know, our other businesses selling things digitally, we don't cost a lot of money. It costs a lot of time and employees, you know, to put all the stuff together that we do for you. You know, it's obviously not easy to get thousands of leads and everything else per month. So, you know, of course, put everything you can, get as much stuff as you can into Amazon, but you're especially going to be looking at gift items. We do a ton of gift sets, and I don't like bundling. I think bundles, for the most part, aren't a great idea, except for what I showed you earlier in this coaching call, which is Amazon telling you these things are already selling together. You should make your own bundle. Is basically what they're telling you. So in that case, I say make a bundle, but people make bundles just to do it, just for, you know, like, well, there's a 4-pack, let me make a 6-pack, or there's 2 different flavors, let me put them together so I don't have any competition. And if you're doing things on Amazon to stifle competition, then you're not going to last in that business. You know, Amazon is all about the customer experience. And if you're not thinking about the customer experience, if you're thinking about how to damage competition, if you're thinking about, you know, how I can do things to get around rules, or, you know, stop other sellers from doing whatever it is you want to stop them from doing, then your business is going to fail eventually, and you're going to lose your Amazon account. It's just, you know, it's just really that simple. And the main part is creating a bundle takes time. You know, do you have the time? Do you have the money to create ads, to push traffic, to grow that rank? You know, I feel the same way as, you know, creating products. If you don't have, you know, if you're not creating that product yourself, if you're not going to be able to continuously sell that product, then, you know, why are you creating a product for something you're going to get 2 of, or you're going to sell 10 of? You know, it's not worth the time to grow that product. But there are, if you go to Walmart, even right now, Walmart, Target, any of them, they have, you know, a ton of gift boxes, you know, like hot sauce. You know, there's the 3 hot sauces in the box with, you know, an oven mitt, or, you know, whatever they are, or candies put together, or, you know, all that stuff is already ready to go. And somebody else has probably already created the listing. And if they don't, you know, the next time you go sourcing, scan it again, and it'll probably be done then, or the next time. And all this stuff after Christmas or after Halloween, you know, we hit all those clearance sales hard. You know, we go to every Walgreens about 2 days after Halloween, because they are ready to get their Christmas stuff up fast. They start marking that stuff down quick. And, you know, we buy hundreds, if not 1,000 Halloween costumes, and those things sell all year long. You know, there's dress-up parties for kids. You know, most of them are for kids. So, you know, there's dress-up parties, birthday parties. You know, I'm in Florida. Excuse me. So there's, you know, kids going to Disney World and want to dress up like princesses or whatever. You know, there's a ton of reasons. And, you know, right now, I don't think we have anything left in our inventory. And we bought, you know, I have pictures from last year we posted that have 4 or 5 shopping carts full of Halloween stuff from one Walgreens. And we went to dozens of them and, you know, filled up trucks multiple times. Post-Halloween sales is RA better than OA as a way to get into the warehouse faster. Well, obviously, RA is going to be faster because it doesn't take the time to get from them to you and then into Amazon. But we don't buy a whole lot of stuff online, you know, I guess, you know, after holiday sales. And I'm just using Halloween as an example, because we do the same thing on the 4th of July, and definitely do the same thing after Easter and Christmas, and, you know, all the Christmas lights that are 90% off at Walgreens. People buy those lights all year long. They buy the light testers, and, you know, all that stuff sells all year long. Christmas trees sell all year long. We got a deal 95% off, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Toys R Us had on all of their holiday stuff, and we bought these big bags for Christmas trees. that you would put in, zip them up. They were 95% off, and I think we paid, I don't know, $2 or $3 for them, and we sold them all year long. I think I sold 1 or 2 a week, and I bought, huge cases. They were heavy to send in. We also bought at Kmart, I think last year, the tree stands, which I thought would never sell until Christmas again. So I sent like 2 or 3 in, and I sold 2 like the first week, and I probably sent 4 or 5 in because I sold 2, and then so we'd send in like 2 every week when we did our shipment, and they kept selling and kept selling, and they were giant. I can't even show it in the picture, but they must have been 2 feet wide and about 1 foot high, and they were real Christmas tree stands. I understood the stuff but in July are, people buying real Christmas trees for a Christmas in July party. And I don't know what they were using them for, but apparently they were, because they were selling, every week and every month. And it didn't make it till the next Christmas to sell out of those. Trees, lights, tree stands, I'm guessing are existing listings. As I said, I've been selling since August of 2012, and I probably have only made half a dozen listings for like products that exist, like new products that we brought to market or bought from wholesalers or manufacturers. We of course have created listings for, but products that we bought outsourcing retail or online, probably less than half a dozen since we've started. We've helped clients create tons of them, and we've created dozens at least for products that we were helping to bring to market. We had an exclusive deal with, or things like that. But we, by very little, we're going to do for RA, and especially we're not going to buy them. If you're buying something on clearance, creating a listing is a hard job. I can refer you to companies that do a great job, but it's going to cost you $100 to $200 to $300 or more if you want professional photos done. So, if professional companies are charging you hundreds of dollars to do it, do you think you're going to do a better job and make one in 5 minutes for a product you bought on clearance? It's really not worth the trouble. You may think it's a good idea, but again, that product has no rank. It has no reason for Amazon to send customers there. And, in the end, is it really worth all that work for a product that's going to have no rank? It's really not, it's not worth the trouble. So we scan stuff and we buy stuff. And, if you have a lot of time and you have no money, you're probably not paying, $100 to be in my mastermind group, for one thing. But the only thing I would ever say to buy and create your own listing for, if you don't have a steady source of that product, is to buy well-known products. If you're sourcing at Ross or TJ Maxx and you find, Nike and Adidas and Reebok, or, brand name purses and bags, and you want to create a listing for that, people are going to naturally be searching for those brands. So, there's a great reason there to naturally bring customers to those products. But again, is the time and the effort worth it to create the correct pictures and create the correct products? For us, it's not. And it never has been. But, for you and your business, it may be. But I'm telling you, there's so much stuff. I mean, you see the amount of stuff that we share. I'm no different than you, and I'm trying to teach you everything that I know to help you grow your own business. So, please, I don't know what is wrong with this camera. I might be buying a new one tonight. It's like the best high definition, like webcam on the market. I don't know why it's being so blurry now. In my opinion, it's really not worth the trouble to do that. So in terms of holiday candy, would there be a way to figure out how much to send in for different kinds? The reason I ask is because of the expiration date. So currently, the rules are 110. I'm not even touching the, okay. Let me see, once it's, okay, sorry. So we're in focus, let's turn off autofocus. Maybe it'll stay like that. So the current rules as far as expiration dates, and if you're doing online sourcing, this is the only thing with replenishables, health, beauty, grocery items that you could ever run into a problem with. So expiration dates are currently 110 days from expiring when it's checked in. So when they check that in, it still has to be at least 110 days from expiring. It used to be 90. They raised it in the last few months. So, but they don't mark it as unfulfillable, which means you have to either return it or destroy it until it's 45 days from expiring. So if you get it in there at the 110th or 111th day out, you can then still sell it until the 45-day period. 45 or 50, I'm not sure if they changed it everywhere there yet. So you have that whole time period in there. But when you're buying online, Walmart's not going to tell you when the expiration date is. They can't, you can't call them up and say, when's this going to expire before I order it. And we found buying things online at Walmart, Target, any of those stores, it's going to be about the middle of the road. So if you buy something that's, let's say, the shelf life is only 4 months, don't expect it to be 4 months when you get it, expect it to be somewhere in the middle. But again, if you're buying, canned goods or dry goods or, powdered mashed potatoes or, whatever it may be, cake mix, that expires for 2 years, it's not reasonable to think that that's going to be within the expiration date. It's probably going to be a year out or closer to, the 2 years. It's going to be somewhere in the middle of the road. Always expect that stuff to be in the middle of the road. So if you're buying snack cakes that may only have a 3 or 4 months shelf life, don't expect, say, oh, it's going to be on the long side, because you're special or something. It doesn't work that way. It's probably going to be somewhere in the middle. No matter what you buy, it's going to be somewhere in the middle. So, but really, what's your worst case scenario? If you find something you're tripling, quadrupling, even doubling your money on, isn't it worth it to ship it and, return it or take it to Walmart or, click a couple buttons on a website and file for a return? It's the trouble you go through is nowhere near as much as, the great gains you're going to get back. So I don't really worry a whole lot about expiration dates. Is there a way to figure out how much to send in? So you said the reason you ask is because of the expiration date. But so I made a whole course on Keepa, and this should be the cornerstone of you deciding how much you want to buy. So Keepa is going. I'll go ahead and share the screen and show you an example, but we made a whole course on it, and you should really, every Amazon seller should know Keepa very well. So here is a Keepa graph, and I'm going to go ahead and should show me. Okay, let me grab the ASIN. I'm going to go over here to Keepa. I know it's a button, but I didn't see it. So everybody should have that Keepa extension, and we can look. They have it for Chrome. They have it for Firefox. Most of you should be using. I'm in Firefox right now, but most of you should be using Chrome because of all the great third-party extensions available, including the free one, the Tactical Arbitrage gives you. So you can see all the information here, but I'm going to load it up on Keepa's own page just because it's bigger and it'll be easier to show everyone. So just going to move some stuff around on my screen that you probably can't even see that's there. So let's turn everything on. So as you can see here, this probably is not something you want to buy. If we look at the last months, this gold means that Amazon has been in stock. So if we scroll out to all, which is the last 735 days, wherever the gold is missing, these white spots, means Amazon was not selling it at the time. They were sold out of it. And you can go look at day, week, month, 3 months, year, or since they first started tracking it. Now, this is the list price, this, I guess, brown line. Green is a sales rank, which is going to be most important to us. The marketplace used, which is very rare. This is probably the Amazon warehouse deals, this black line, because you don't see this a whole lot. It could be third-party sellers, especially with food. Of course, you're not going to see used food. The blue is the marketplace new sellers. So this is third-party sellers new, and then the black is a third-party sellers used. Now, the thing you have to understand is this is the absolute cheapest price without shipping. So this may be a merchant-fulfilled seller. If it's selling for $15, they could have it for $4 with $10 shipping, and it's going to show up as $4. So a lot of products are misleading as far as that goes. And then, of course, the Amazon is the Amazon price. Anywhere you do not see the gold here, that means that they weren't in stock. So I'm going to go back over here to we're going to look at a month. We zoom in, we can look at a week. Now, the left side is the price. So if it affects price, that's where that line is going to be. Now the green line is rank. So I'm looking at the last week right now. So what should be common sense, and maybe a lot of sellers just haven't learned this yet, is that there's only one way for rank to go down. Rank only goes down when there's a sale. When there's no sales, it steadily goes up because other things are selling. So rank is only a snapshot in time. And what that means is that it has no bearing on historical rank. If I sold 1,000 of a product every day for a year and then didn't sell it for another year, the rank would be in the millions. And I had a product that I sold 10 of, a day for a month, the rank is probably going to be somewhere right here. In the 3,000 to 5,000 range. So selling over time has no bearing on rank. So I'm going to show you the simplest and easiest and most important way you should look to see what you want to buy, and that is by sales history. These other tools out there, they make an estimation towards the future. They're making a future estimation that if a product is at a specific rank, it's going to sell that many. This is going to show you price differences. And the way it does it, it doesn't have some magical, special agreement with Amazon to give you information. What it's doing is, and you can see here, it's literally has gone to Amazon at all these different times and it has checked what the sales rank is. So it went to Amazon. It seems the sales rank was 98.11 here at this time at Wednesday, September 21st at 4:08 p.m. Or it did this at some point in the future, and then at 4:08 p.m. it checked again, and the rank was 18,622. So from here to here, it didn't sell. And then they checked again at this time, Wednesday, September 21st at 11:49 p.m. And there was obviously a sale because it went from 18,000 down to 88.34. So every time you see a difference, they pulled Amazon. They went and through the API, but they physically looked at this listing and they just log it again and again and again. And depending on the rank, some things may check once a week, some things may check hundreds of times a day. So what this teaches us is that every time this rank goes down, we see the rank went down. The numbers are higher up here and lower down here. So every time this graph goes down, there was a sale. When it goes up, it doesn't mean anything because the rank is constantly going up. It gets updated once every hour, and it's constantly going up unless there's sales to bring it down. So when we see it drops, that means at least one sale. So here there was a sale. We see here there was a sale, so that's 2. This makes 3, and then it went down again, so that's 4, but it went up, which doesn't matter. And this makes 5 sales. This drop makes 6 sales. So we can see in the last week, it's gotten at least 6 sales. This may have accounted for, it may have gotten 2 or 3 sales in this time. There's no way to tell, but, because it's going against all the other things that are selling. Things are constantly selling, ranks are going down, pushing other ranks up, and that's how Amazon works. They don't give you detailed sales history. So the only way to know this information is to look at Keepa, and it says, well, we've seen 6 drops in sales in the last week. Now, if it's a slower moving item, you may want to look at the months and count these. So, we could still do that. It's not too crazy, but I mean, if we looked at the year, obviously we wouldn't really be able to judge it. But if we looked at the months, we can see, and if I count really quick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up, 7, 8, 9 down here, 10, the little one is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So in the last month, we're looking at 27 sales, still on par to be around 1 sale a day. And now if we look at our statistics, we can see that the average, the lowest sales rank has been 2,900. The current is 9,432. And the highest has been as high as 148,000, but the average is about 50,000. And we're looking at about 1 sale. We're looking at just under a sale a day. So now you know how many sales this product, and this will work on pretty much any product. Shoes and clothing, it doesn't work so great on because they share, it's the sales rank. So, but almost any other product, you can look at this and see how much you want to buy based on how many sales there are. And then, of course, you have to look at your competition on Amazon. And, we can click back over to Amazon and see how many competing people there are. It doesn't matter how many people that are actually on here. There's only 3 sellers on this product, but I can see there's 2 on FBA, it looks like, and 1 merchant fulfilled, and they're both. So there's actually only 1. There's 2. There is 2 on Prime. So one's an Amazon and one's a third-party seller. They're both the exact same price. This one I don't care about. They're $2 higher, and they're also merchant fulfilled. I don't compete with those, and I also don't compete with people. Even if this was a Prime seller, he's already, $2 ahead of you. That's about 16% higher. I really am not competing with people at 16%. But of course, if there's multiple sellers and they don't have a lot in stock, they may sell out. And then if that's the next highest person, then they may be getting sales after that. So it's definitely, I'm only looking at competing sellers, and then I got to figure out for myself how many of those actual, 27 or so sales a month I'm going to get. But after you take all that into account, you might just throw all that out the window because it's a Halloween item, and it's not going to be getting 28 sales a month. It may get it in August and September, but leading up to October, it could be selling 10 times as much. But this early, it's already selling. then moving on in the future, it's definitely going to be selling a whole lot more, because in these early months, way before Halloween, if it's a good seller, then definitely leading up to Halloween, it's only going to increase. If you're only getting, one a week or a couple of months, then leading up to Halloween, you may not increase it very much. But this is already a good seller. Amazon's promoting it naturally. So you're definitely going to, this would definitely be a good seller to begin with. So. And it looks like we're well into our hour, so if there's any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If not, we will see you again next week. We have a bunch of other webinars we're doing around tactical arbitrage and other tools, so we'll definitely, you guys will all be invited to that as well.
Hey, Shawn, real quick, what's a keeper drop? Is it a sale, or is it just indicating that there's been some fluctuation?
Keeper drops. What they call a drop is actually just changes in the price. That's why it's under the prices. So in that product, it's saying 0.3, which is usually a dollar amount. So it's saying basically an average of the, and it'll show it for new, used, and Amazon.
Okay, so it's a price fluctuation.
Right.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay. Good night.